Welcome to the new moon on the 25th of September, which will take place at 2 degrees of Libra. What follows is a recording I did for members only, but I'm making it available for everyone on YouTube. So until I get my new camera and some nicer things behind me, enjoy this recording and I'll see you next time. Bringing you the new moon on the 25th of September, and it's going to be at 2 degrees of Libra Decan 1. It is going to be opposite Jupiter. The fixed star is Zaniah in the left arm of Virgo the Virgin. The tarot card is the Two of Swords. The healing crystal is Ametrine. And the Sabian symbol is the dawn of a new day. Everything changed. So it's in Libra Decan 1, and the fixed star interpretations are not very kind to this decan, I have to say. But the moon does rule it, and that is using the Chaldean system. So maybe they cancel each other out somehow. The trouble seems to be caused when we write about controversial topics. Those touched by this new moon will feel their ideas are way ahead of their time or just too mystical for the average human to grasp. This is also an extremely right-brained decan, and since the moon shines the light of illumination here, the intuitive senses are very sharp. In my research, I actually found many mystics were born with the moon in this decan. So it's a psychic one, this one. So this new moon favours also diplomats and peacemakers rather than warmongers. The moon here also has a strong connection with the night sky and the ability to prophesy. Those plugged into this Libra moon will carry an aura of peace and tranquility, even if their outer appearance is spiky or dishevelled. And they're also able to neutralise a fiery environment just by being present. Moon Libra 1 carries a very potent balancing energy. So strangely, if the situation is one of too much acquiescence, then it could shift the scales towards a more defensive stance. Then there is the potential to surprisingly flip over to being more of a shadow goddess. And this is rare though, and generally Moon Libra 1 is soothing and harmonious. The collective's only fault at this time is perhaps being too naive and ignorance of malice. And those touched by this Libra new moon will need to remember not everyone is as fair-minded as they are. So if we look at the chart, we still have Uranus and the North Node fairly close, 3 degrees apart. And Saturn is, because it's gone retrograde now, is coming back to square it. So we can't get rid of the techno tyrants. I think this is about 4 moons in a row that we've had it. But this time there is no, Ceres has kind of moved out the way, so there's no T-square at least. Now with the new moon, it is opposite Jupiter in, Aries still, but now it's retrograde. And we have a really nice, well, the trines in this, they're not really connected with the moon, but they do sort of modify, I guess, the harsh oppositions and squares. So we've got Pluto trine Venus and Mercury that are together, Mercury retrograde. And then Mars trine Saturn, which is a really nice balance of the grounding, stamina of Saturn and the fast-paced Mars. So it's like the planets of love, Venus trine Pluto and Mars trine Saturn. A nice balance there for relationships, I think. Yes, this definitely is the diplomat and the peacemaker, this one. So the aspects are Moon opposite Jupiter, which is flamboyant, Sun opposite Jupiter, which is grandiosity, Venus trine Pluto, madly and deeply, Saturn square Uranus, guess what? It's the techno-tyrants again, and Mars trine Saturn, which is axe wielders. I know it's a trine, but sometimes they can wield the axe in a kind of positive way. I mean, chopping wood is is a positive version of that, I guess. So I'll leave it there for the YouTube, and I'll go on to the members section now. So if we look at the chart again, we have a bit of a learning triangle going on here with the Saturn. So the conflict is with the techno tyrants again, but there looks like to be a bit of an intervention from Mars in Gemini. So that will be, you see, that could be hackers, because maybe they're sort of getting in and seeing what black magic and sorcery the manipulators are doing with the internet, really. And then the resolution is between Mars and Saturn, which is courage and having the stamina to see it through, and and being quite aggressive in sorting this out, and not just being apathetic, really. So yeah, I said, with the Decan, it is diplomats rather than warmongers, but I think, Mars is still, Mars has been quite diplomatic, I guess, in Gemini. It's not too aggressive there. Quite anxious though, quite nervy in a way. But it probably could offer two sort of solutions as well. So the Sabian symbol is the dawn of a new day, everything changed. And James Burgess says of this, every breath is another beginning to yet another unique expression of life. A person who has gained awareness of the ideal and knows fully and clearly where their powerful, unassailable center is. Just by being who they are, they initiate significant creative changes in their world. And of course, Libra is associated with Venus, which is creativity as well. And we do have that really nice Venus, Mercury conjunction, trine Pluto, very powerful that is. And I mean, people might say, oh, but Mercury's in retrograde, but it's strong in Virgo. And I like retrograde. Retrograde to me is just making the planet more like an outer planet. So to me, it's more like Uranus. So yeah, Mercury, like a Venus-Uranus conjunction with Pluto in the mix as well. I mean, that's very innovative, magical, and transformative. So back to the Sabian symbol. So the keywords, new perspective and realizations, waking up to a whole new consciousness or sense of reality. Yeah, hope so. Emerging from depression, huge changes that erase things that mattered before, radical shifts. I mean, that's Uranus again. So some of the quotes. Oh, Seneca, one should count each day as a separate life. God, if you just woke up with no memory, that would be really weird, wouldn't it? Things do not change, we change. And that's Henry Thoreau. So the oracle says, this new day may not have dawned yet, but it's definitely on its way. It's hard to believe at first, but eventually it will dawn on you that many facets of your situation are different in the light of this new day. Life may have been difficult or things unsure. You may feel like you've been through a long night or a period of darkness. So yeah, I mean, when you look at the tarot card as well, see, that's seen as quite a negative card. So Teach Me Tarot say the Two of Swords often indicates an argument between people who are being rigid and unyielding. Both sides are locked into the battle. There is little room for forgiveness and no sign of a thaw. The argument could go on for years and take generations to come unless someone is brave enough to sort it out. So people need to lay down their weapons and open their heart to forgiveness. So, I mean, this kind of shows the polarity of Aries to Libra, where Libra is the other. Balancing of the scales indicates finding a compromise at this time to extremism in the past. So I think, the Libra obviously is the peacemaker. The moon is the peacemaker. Jupiter in Aries, retrograde. Yeah, I mean, that can be extreme. I'd say, because it's flamboyant, it's grandiose, and there's also the madly and deeply obsessive, and the techno tyrants are there as well. So it's kind of this moon against the world, but mainly I suppose, people who are incredibly obsessive and just will not yield. But yeah, hopefully things are kind of calming down now. It feels a little less polarized, I have to say. I've just noticed in my own personal life where I'm not too embarrassed about saying that I was a Brexiteer, to an old friend I've got back in touch with, and she's a very vehement Remainer. But then she said, well, you're like that because you won. I said, I don't think anyone won. That's a false thing. Nobody won, because everybody's using that excuse to put up bloody prices and then get everyone blaming the wrong people for it. Blaming each other for it, really. Yeah, the whole divide and conquer thing. Anyway, so yeah, there we are, the Two of Swords. So the fixed star is Zaniah, which is, now with the moon, it's got two different meanings really. With the moon, it seems to be a bit less fortunate. So moon on Zaniah, that's from Robson. He says, worry, loss through legal and Venusian affairs, trouble through writings, led astray by sympathies. I mean, that's the bleeding heart syndrome, isn't it? And I would imagine, virtue signalers who, want to be liked. We want to be liked. And on social media, you've got to be seen to be supporting the right causes. And all of those things play on sympathy, isn't it? It's all about, the feels. And, I'm not to say that I'm someone who's got no feelings for tragedy and disadvantaged people, not at all. But it's just horrible that they manipulate that to get you to do stuff, It's just all a bit, Simon says tap your head, Simon says jump around on one foot, annoying. So anyway, back to Zaniah. It's found in the left arm of the Virgin, and normally it gives refinement, honour, congeniality, order, and a lovable nature. So it is a sweetie, it's a cute one. Generally, Zaniah seems to give a talent for negotiating peace and diplomacy. You can certainly see strong tropical Libra attributes here, as well as the Mercury-Venus nature attributed to it by Ptolemy. And what do you know? In the new moon chart, we do have a Venus-Mercury conjunction as well. So that's, it's a very strong theme for this new moon. And Eric Morse, who's another fixed star astrologer, says, the name Zaniah must bring a smile to astrologers who often associate Mercury with money and Venus with love. And Ptolemy, having put the money first for Zaniah, means adulterers or harlots. All right, so Mercury, Venus, nature. Yeah, if you put the Mercury first, then that brings the money. So that's the thing with these fixed stars. The order of the planets is important. So if it was a Venus-Mercury, it would be probably more fortunate, I'd say. Yeah, the love before money. So you've got to remember that when you read the attributes from Ptolemy. Anyway, he goes on to say, we have seen how Virgo has had such a reputation in the past times, having been both Lilith and Ashtoreth, as much as more honoured ladies like Mary. Yeah, so that's the kind of priestess whore thing as well. Yeah, virgin whore. So the influence has bled into tropical Libra now. And I think, it does give visions of, makes us think of the refined and cultured geisha girl or the 18th century courtesan as being very Libra Decan 1. And in my research, I actually found quite a few sex workers in this Decan as well. So yeah, this flipping energy. I was just looking back at the Libra Decan one. It does, the shadow goddess. That's like, again, flipping from the very benign, the love side, and then going to the harlot side as well. So yeah, so that could be the two poles as well. So that is kind of why I chose a healing crystal that was the merging of two different ones together. So the Ametrine. So that's a combination of amethyst and citrine. It's all about balance, and it's a great stone to support the indecisive Libra in making important decisions. So we might be quite spoiled for choice at this generous new moon, and because of the Jupiter opposition. So Ametrine can aid in bringing clarity to your judgment and help you narrow things down. This crystal is perfect for helping you deprogram the mind from any media fear porn. It will help calm anxiety and allow one to rest and digest as well. So beadage.com say Ametrine is perfect for people who struggle with ambivalence, procrastination, or doubt caused by fear of making a mistake or worrying about what other people think. With this certainty that you are on the right path, your creativity and energy will be unleashed and you'll be able to move forward. So also during astrological travel, this stone safeguards and prevents psychic attacks. Stress and tension are cleared from the head, calming the mind and improving concentration. So, it's the meditative stone. So yeah, I would say it kind of balances both hemispheres of the brain as well. So yeah, this is all about making peace, coming to a compromise. It's a very compromising type of energy, balancing, and going back to the chart again. Yeah, it really is, because what you have is, obviously the moon is in Libra, so that's Venus ruled. Venus is in Virgo, and so is Mercury, so it's ultra powerful. Yeah, interesting that we've got Jupiter retrograde. Actually, yeah, quite a few gosh, there's quite a lot of retrograde planets going on here. I just realised. So we've got Mercury retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, and Uranus retrograde. And so is Eris, but Eris is going back and forth all the time. But my God, there's only two planets apart from the luminaries, and Venus, that are direct. So anyway, that's a lot of retro energy. So what do we make of that? Does that add anything to this moon? Maybe it is people who just will not move forward. Things have changed. Things have got to move on, but they're still harping on. They're still harping on about, I don't know, Brexit or something similar that's happened over the last bloody, 5 years. God, it's still, this was 2016. Wow. No, I'm sorry. It's not just, obviously I'm from the UK, so our big bugbear, or the thing that people are still moaning about, is Brexit. But, obviously in the US, there's got to be some equivalent. And I guess it must be, something to do with whatever Trump did during his term. But I'm just hoping that suddenly people wake up and go, we really have moved on. And hopefully it's also moving on from the whole COVID thing, It seems to, I don't know. Here in England, it's the thing of the past. And less people are wearing masks now. The mandates were taken down ages ago. And there are still a few nutters wearing them. But that's mean, I know. I should be more sympathetic. The poor things is they're scared, and it's horrible to be in that sort of health anxiety. I'm someone who had quite a lot of health anxiety until COVID, and then it was really, I had to think, I've got to get over this because I'm not going to spend the next 2 years or whatever, how long it's going to be, this thing, worrying about every little bloody germ. So it was overwhelmed. So I just thought, no. Sorry, there's a lot of bin banging around. I'm sorry if that's Mars the recording, but we're in a heat wave here and I had to have the window open. So I think that sort of brings it to an end. Is there anything else I've missed? Actually, there's also quite a romantic Venus opposite Neptune as well. That is, really, when you think about it, the new moon is widely conjunct Mercury, which is widely conjunct Venus. So there's a stellium there that bridges Virgo and Libra as well. So there's a definite. It's very cuspy. It's very Virgo Libra, this new moon, and it's very Mercury Venus. So it's that courtesan harlot energy. But there's the new dawn as well. So I really like the picture that I chose. I chose it kind of before I did this, and I think it fits pretty well. Very pretty. It's about making things pretty as well. So that brings me to the end. Before we go, this Libra design is available as a t-shirt, and you should have some links below if you want to buy it in many different styles. So thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.